Hey guys, welcome to my channel again, Knowsense by DJ, and I am Deepak. With this video, I am starting a new series on book reviews on some excellent titles. Reading in itself is a great habit to understand the life, the world we live in, different periods of time, the control of our language, among many other things. So in the first episode, we are diving into one of the most iconic and thought-provoking novel of all time, one of the most widely read titles by George Orwell, that is 1984. If you haven't read it yet, don't worry. In the next few minutes, I'm going to explore everything that you need to know, from the plot to the theme and most importantly, the question it raises. So let's buckle up and dive right into it. So before we get into the book itself, let's talk about the writer George Orwell. George Orwell was born as Eric Arthur Blair in 1903. George Orwell is one of the most celebrated writers of 20th century. His work often focuses on the themes of social injustice, totalitarianism, dictatorship, and the political corruption. Written in 1948 and published in 1949, 1984 is a chilling prediction on a future world where freedom and individuality are completely suppressed. Orwell himself lived through some of the tough times. He fought in the Spanish Civil War and witnessed the rise of fascism and totalitarian regimes, which undoubtedly influenced his writing. At this point, it is essential to know the difference between totalitarianism and dictatorship. Totalitarianism seeks total control over all aspects of life, including politics, culture, economy, media, and even personal beliefs. It uses various kinds of propaganda, surveillance, and repression to maintain power. While dictatorship also seeks to maintain power, but it mainly focuses on the control over the political structure. Now let's break down the plot of 1984. 1984, as the name suggests, it's set in a totalitarian future which revolves around the character of Winston Smith. Winston Smith is a low-ranking party member in Oceania. Oceania is one of the three super states which are locked in a state of war. In fact, there may not be any war, but the leader of the party pretends that there is a constant state of war among the three super states, one of which is Oceania. This is done to instill fear among the people to ensure their obedience. The leader of the party controlling Oceania is called Big Brother. So when you read the book, there will be frequent mention of this phrase, Big Brother is watching you, which basically means that the state Oceania is an extreme form of surveillance state. Winston Smith works in the Ministry of Truth. Ironically, whose work is to alter the historical records to align with party's propaganda. As I said, the society he lives in is controlled by Big Brother, and everyone is constantly under surveillance. There is even the infamous thought police, which ensures that nobody steps out of the line, not even in their own minds. Just imagine that. Despite the constant and strict surveillance, Winston Smith starts to question the regime. Now, Winston Smith is someone who likes freedom, who does not like to be controlled, who loves his individuality. He is a man longing for individual freedom. He is a man of critical thinking. Definitely he is not going to like this level of totalitarianism. Winston begins an illicit love affair with Julia. She is another party member. He also starts maintaining a diary, and he also purchases a forbidden book by Emmanuel Goldstein, which is nothing but an imaginary enemy of the party. All of these things are forbidden in Oceania, let me tell you. Winston is ultimately caught by the thought police, and he is taken to infamous room number 101. Room number 101, let me tell you, is a room where the people caught in the rebellious act are punished. These actions ignite a journey of rebellion, self-doubt, paranoia. But as you would expect with any dystopian novel, things does not end well for Winston Smith. Ultimately, he falls down the line and aligns with the party's ideology. Now let's talk about the themes described in 1984. First of all, we have a theme of totalitarianism. The party controls all aspects of life of the people living in Oceania. What they eat, what they think, and even what they believe is true. George Orwell warns us about the consequences of unchecked political power and erosion of personal freedom. The submission of people is such that everything the party says, they believe. Another key theme is language and manipulation. In the world of 1984, the party creates a new language called Newspeak. Newspeak is designed to eliminate the words that could express rebellious language. It is a brilliant yet terrifying concept. Without the words to express dissent, how can you imagine a world without Big Brother? The manipulation is at such an extent that at one point in the novel, when the price of the commodity rises, say from 30 to 40, the media presents it like the price has actually fallen from 40 to 30. And the people believe it. This is the level of propaganda described in this book. If you see the name of the ministries in the book, they are ironic. For example, the Ministry of Truth, it controls the media, it spreads the propaganda. The Ministry of Peace oversees wars. Ministry of Love tortures political dissent. And Ministry of Plenty suppresses the resources. Quite ironic, isn't it? And of course, there is a theme of surveillance. The famous phrase, Big Brother is watching you, represents the constant observation and control of our citizens. This idea of surveillance is eerily relevant today in the age when there is a growing concern about individual privacy and government monitoring. Now let's see the positive aspects of the book. One of the most impressive and terrific aspects of the book is George Orwell's ability to create a world that is both believable and terrifying. The concept of Big Brother, the thought police, the manipulation of history is so vividly described that it looks like it is right out of the today's headlines. The book also makes you think about the world we live in today. George Orwell is often credited with the predictions about the rise of surveillance societies and the potential for government control over the public perception, something that resonates strongly with today's mass data collection and fake news. Also, Orwell's writing style is sharp, clear, and unsettling. He does not sugarcoat anything. That makes his warning about the future real and feel urgent. It is a book that sticks with you long enough after you've finished. In today's time, when a state is alleged to follow a totalitarian trend, it is generally referred to as Orwellian state. Of course, 1984 isn't perfect. There are some criticisms worth mentioning. Some readers might find the relentless despair and oppression in the novel quite exhausting. Winston's emotional and psychological journey throughout the novel is quite dark, it's quite bleak and hopeless. Some people have criticized the ending, which is undeniably dark. Without giving away too much, it is not a story with hopeful resolution. For readers seeking redemption and an uplifting conclusion, 1984 might disappoint them. But despite its grim nature, 1984 has an everlasting impact on literature and culture. Phrases like Big Brother, thought crime, newspeak have entered the lexicon and are used to discuss the present day issues like government control, the totalitarianism, the censorship, the surveillance state, the media control, and so on. Even decades after its publication, 1984 remains incredibly relevant. If we look at the power of the emerging technologies, the rise of misinformation, and potential dangers of unchecked political authority. So, to wrap up, 1984 is a timeless classic that raises some of the most important questions about power, freedom, liberty, the government control, the censorship, surveillance, etc. George Orwell's vision of the society controlled by manipulation, repression, and surveillance is as haunting today as it was when it was first published. Whether you like it or not, 1984 is a novel that demands your attention or even your fear. Thanks for tuning into this review. Let me know in the comments, have you read 1984? What are your thoughts about it? What are your opinions about George Orwell's warnings? Let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I will come up with another book review very soon. See you next time.